What is up, everyone? Welcome to the 49th episode of the Quest Podcast. Tonight, we have a very special guest on, Sir IcedTivo. What is up, dude?
Hey, I'm back. Second time. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, it's the first the first podcast of the year. It's gonna be a fun one. We got some things going on. We don't have just the
Yes.
guests, but we also have some maybe a giveaway. Maybe I don't know. No, I'm just
Maybe.
kidding. Yeah, we have a giveaway, but definitely happy to have you on, man. It's gonna be a fun show. Um, gonna get into our panel of the evening. Sir Remix, what is up, dude? It's been a while.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Excited to be back on the show for the new year. It's going to be a good one, so can't wait to get on into things.
Yeah, dude. Can you believe that it's been 1 year since we started doing this, dude?
I
It's
know,
been
man.
1 year.
Pretty crazy. I think it's even it's even the 4th, and I believe we started on the 4th of the last year.
I think so. Yeah. So it's like it's kind of surreal right now, but yeah, it's been a bumpy ride, but we've gotten through it, and we're over that 1 year hump, and hopefully we can continue to keep this going.
Definitely.
And Baines, dude, what is up, man?
What's going on, man? Ready to get into this show. Glad to have IcedTivo on and ready to get to these topics.
Definitely, dude. Definitely. So, as you guys all know, we'd like to start off the podcast with what have we been playing this week, and we're going to start out with our special guest, Sir IcedTivo. What have you been playing, dude?
Well, lately, I ended the year playing Foxy Tale, Super Lucky Sales, and but this year, me and Iceman are trying to do like this Resident Evil challenge thing where we're trying to 100% every single game that's available on the Xbox One.
Ooh.
So we finished with Resident Evil 5, and right now we're working on 6. So that's probably what I'm going to be playing for most of the year, I think, Resident Evil. And of course, the new games that come out.
Yeah, nice. So the Resident Evil, I saw you playing that earlier, like maybe a week ago or maybe a couple of days ago or something like that. You guys have just been running through those games, huh? Would you guys pick that up and was just like, oh, we're just gonna play those or what?
Yeah, because we saw it was co-op, and some of the achievements are kind of tedious by yourself. So we just looked at it. We're like, oh, we could just do this real quick, and we had Resident Evil 5. We're like, oh, well, let's see if we could do it by the end of the year, and we had like a week left to spare. So now we're starting with this one, and hopefully we get it done just as fast.
Nice, dude. Yeah, that sounds like a big hurdle that you guys are gonna have to go through, but hopefully you guys can do it, man. I'd like to see something come out of that for sure.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. It's a good like goal, a gaming goal to have, I guess.
Yeah, it's a New Year's resolution, right? Yeah.
yeah, you could say that.
M. Baines, dude, what have you been playing, man?
I've been playing Persona 5, a lot of Persona 5, playing Mario plus Rabbids, and then I picked up VR, so I've been playing some VR.
How you liking that Mario plus Rabbids?
It's fun. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's fun. Yeah.
I heard it's very challenging. Like if you're not into that.
Yeah, if you aren't in, by the time you get to certain spots, if you aren't invested, you don't know enough about positioning and whatnot and the characters that you have, it make you want to just put it down and not come back to it. It can.
Really?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, because we got that from my nephew, and he's I think he's a little too young yet to really get to it because it's too complicated, I think, in some ways. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to run through that too this year. But who knows? Who knows?
My biggest surprise was how good VR is with PlayStation. I mean, it's really good.
Oh yeah, what have you been playing on VR on there?
Well, I played a little bit. I got that little free disc, so I played that. The games that were on that. I got the PSVR Worlds. Nothing really heavy just yet, but just the fact that how good it works with what I've just sampled, I'm surprised. Like it's a good VR set. I didn't think it would be that good, but everybody that tests that winds up getting the PSVR, they'll say it, and I'm like, okay, I got it, and you actually do feel like you're imported into a different world. I mean, in games I played so far, no real hiccups to take you out of being immersed. So I mean, it's a good experience, man.
Have you tried out Resident Evil 7 on it yet, or no? You gonna
not yet. I got Rush of Blood. I hadn't played that yet. But
okay.
I'll definitely be playing Resident Evil 7, but I gotta kind of let that wear off a little bit, even though I know the experience would be probably completely different.
Yeah.
I still want to let it wear off just a little bit.
All right, cool, man, cool. Remix, what have you been playing, dude?
Yeah, man. I played Wolfenstein 2. Been playing, a fair amount of PUBG. Hopped into the start of Warframe, which I've been enjoying since Gabe and Dave were on that, so they were like, "Yo, download it." So I did. So I have to get more into that, but I'm enjoying it so far. I got a Switch, so I've been playing some Mario Kart, like with my sister and stuff. Fair amount of that, actually. And I just started up Mario Odyssey as well. So.
Ooh, nice, dude. Yeah, those are some pretty good games right there that you got on the Switch.
Yeah.
I've been playing mostly just Life is Strange. Yeah. I've been going through the Life is Strange Before the Storm. I went through that, and then I was all like, you know what? I didn't play Life is Strange, the first one, on Xbox. I played it on PS4. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna play it on Xbox. So I decided to go back and play it on Xbox to get all those achievements on Xbox. Because they're pretty easy. They're not like too hard. You just basically just take pictures the whole time. Yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing. I mean, I finished Wolfenstein 2. Man, that game is balls to the wall crazy, dude. That game is nuts. Also finished Assassin's Creed Origins as well, man. That was good. I really liked Assassin's Creed Origins. They did a really good job with this game this year, and I'm excited to see what they take it in the future. Hopefully they don't try to like come up with another one next year. I hope they kind of like take their time and kind of wait until the following year to come out with another Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed and Wolfenstein, they were good enough that I'll definitely pick up Wolfenstein's DLC, but I'll probably pick up Assassin's Creed DLC too, because I really enjoy both of those games that much. So yeah, they were really both really good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I hope that they take their time from now on, because they can't have that another situation like they did with Unity or anything like that. But so our games of the year, fellas. What do you guys have to say about your guys' games of the year? I'm gonna start off with TiVo. What was your game of the year, man? Or do you have other games? Do you have more than one? Or
well, yeah, Resident Evil 7 is my game of the year so far. Well, last year. It came out early, and I thought that maybe it'll get like dethroned because I think it was in January, but changing it to first person, I thought was a good idea. Yeah, I really liked it. And the other game that's a runner-up would be let me see, because I haven't finished Assassin's Creed, but the Evil Within 2, that I finished that, and that was pretty good.
So two horror games. So
horror, yes.
So why two horror games? Are you a huge horror fan, or you just thought that those games were superior over everything else?
Yeah, because lately I've been playing games for a while now, and I feel like they've been getting kind of easier as generations progress. Like they're getting really simplified. So I feel like horror games give you a nice balance between story and like difficulty. So I like the suspense, mixed with the story, with the item management. You can't just go around shooting everything. You have to count your bullets. So I like that challenge about horror games.
That's very true. I mean, it's very like docile. You don't have a lot of like, ammo or health packs and things like that. And I think that right there is the big challenge, is like being able to find, like, when you find a health pack, you're like, sweet, I'm gonna savor this, and then like
start breathing.
Like, yeah, and then like something comes around the corner and gets you, and you're like, fuck. But yeah, I definitely I like those choices, man. Those are some pretty good choices right there. The Evil Within 2 and Resident Evil 7. Anything else that you were like that blew you away at all this year, or was it just those two that were just like top notch?
Well, going back to what you were talking about with Assassin's Creed Origins, I'm like halfway with that, but yeah, I've been an Assassin's Creed fan from the beginning, and yeah, this Whistling definitely is really, it's up there. So,
right.
That's I'm actually anticipating that when I finish it, it'll probably overtake the other two, from what I've seen so far.
Nice, dude. Hell yeah. Remix. What was your game of the year?
Yeah, so I've got a few. To start off, I'd say Wolfenstein 2 was just really kick-ass, I felt. I like really going through that game, stealth mode, and taking Nazis out one by one. That was a really good game, and I feel like especially in the cutscene moments, like the music that they had playing, and like kind of like the I don't know, just like the hype they had going for like we're in a rebellion, and it really like got you going and really built you up for like your next mission. So I really enjoyed that game. I'd have to give some props to Injustice 2 because I'm not really a fighter guy, but I actually put like a fair amount of time into that game and really enjoyed it. That kind of came and went, but it was a good game. And I'll probably get some flack for this one, but PUBG, man. PUBG is just so much fun. The adrenaline rush of like when you're down to the last few teams. I haven't played in a few days, but I was playing quite a bit with Game the other week. And like, oh, dude, we did not snag ourselves a chicken dinner, but we got to like the top 2 like a couple times, and close to it a few times, and it's just so close. But that's a lot of fun. And one other game that didn't come out this year, but is constantly updated and stuff that I haven't gotten too much into. I've just started out on it, but Warframe, dude, I do have to say, like, I'd tell people to check it out because it's free to play. You can download it. There's so much like just fucking customization in the game, and I can tell you, like, when I picked it up, I was just like, damn, like everywhere I look, like the movement is so good and smooth and 60 frames, and yeah, I'd definitely give that game a look, because if you were like bummed about Destiny, then Warframe is kind of it's different, but it's kind of like the Destiny you never had. So with like ninjas and jumping and awesomeness. So
I started playing it, and then like I was like, well, I think this is more for like when I'm like playing with other people. I can't really see myself playing this by myself at all. I gotta have like the crew, the guys.
Yeah, I like going through with the squad as well. Well, maybe me and you will have to team up and do it up together. But yeah. Other than that, I haven't gotten around to a couple games like Assassin's Creed. I haven't started yet, so I'll get around to that at some point. But I mean, from what I've seen, the game looks beautiful and pretty good. So
yeah. And you played Wolfenstein 2, right? And that was
that was on my list of my top games. Yeah.
What did you think of that, man? That game's like, well, I mean, so far for what you played, it's like it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, dude, it's just action packed. And like I was saying before, like they really get you amped up before your next mission and the cutscenes. So, a good game.
Definitely, yeah. Do you have any others, or were you just kind of like, because you seemed like you were kind of like all over like in the genres of games? Was there like a specific game that you just blew you away this year, or was it just like a ton of games that you were just like, man, these are just too good?
Yeah, I'd just say like those few games that were, just good. I'll try any genre and like see if I like it. But yeah,
right.
Collectively, I like those. My tops are Wolfenstein and PUBG. But
nice, yeah. What did you like about PUBG so much? I know this is probably gonna be kind of redundant, but I mean, what did you like so much about PUBG?
Yeah, man. It's just easy to get into. And I don't know. There's just something about it that I feel like they do things right in that game. Their servers were down for a little bit when they're like resetting them. So Game and I went on to Fortnite to try out their battle royale mode, and we just, we're just like, this isn't PUBG. Like I feel like Fortnite actually has a bit more of a learning curve to it than PUBG, but PUBG's like harder in terms of like gun skill and stuff. But
I see. I feel the same way about Fortnite. I just don't like that whole like
I don't like the building mechanic.
the building mechanic is like I just want to do shooting. I just want to shoot some people in the face.
Yeah.
That's
and the map just feels like more clustered because it's smaller with the same amount of people, and there doesn't seem like there's as much in between the towns in Fortnite. So, just like I feel like Fortnite, they just do something right with their game. And like I said before, kind of the like adrenaline when you get when you get down to the last few people and you're just like, damn, like I'm either gonna clutch it or I'm gonna choke it. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the thing with PUBG, man. Every situation's different. I remember when we were playing it, it was like, man, like I remember we got to like what, third place or something like that. Like third, yeah. Like there was like three more guys left, and like I was in that house and I was like right on top of the circle, just hiding in the bathroom, just waiting. And there was a dude outside the door, and I was like gonna shoot him, and then like he like freaking shotgun me right in the face, and I was just like, dang. So like every encounter is like really different, and like you never know what's gonna happen from one game to the next. Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I remember like you were in that one circle for a long time, and then there was like, and then all of a sudden, as soon as like you moved a little bit, like everybody was just shooting at you. It was just like, jeez. Yeah. But yeah, man, that game is I can kind of see where people are saying that game's game of the year, and it's kind of well warranted in a way, because I mean you don't really have those kind of other experiences, especially on console. You don't have that kind of experience on your preferred platform sometimes. So it's kind of nice to see something like that.
Yeah, it's just the fun factor. A lot of people hate on it because it's multiplayer only and it has some issues right now, but it's just so much fun, and that's why we play games, because they're fun, and that's so I mean I'm kind of stumbling on my words now, but that's why I like the game. Pure fun factor, and it doesn't have to have the game doesn't have to have an amazing story all the time to make the top of the list.
Well, that's the thing, with multiplayer games. Like a lot of times, they don't have a story, but they have really good gameplay, and they have something that people want to play, and they last for a lot longer because of the fact that they're always online, and you can just hop in, play a few matches, and then hop back out. And it's just. Definitely. And with a story, it's like you have to really be invested in it and just kind of get in there and really listen to the what's going on and stuff. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from with the PUBG, definitely. And Bane. Oh wait, go ahead, man. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the last few minutes of that game is really intense. It's like nothing matches that intensity. Like when you're the last 10 people.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I know, like a couple times, me and Remix, and then Game as well. Like Game Downsight's our good buddy over there. He me and him even were playing a couple times, and it was just like, geez, dude, we're about to get killed, and like, we're thinking that it's like, who was it? I think we were playing with, it might have been with you, Remix, and it might have been with Bot. I can't remember, but. There was a point where it was like almost down to, I think it was like the last 10 or something like that, and I was like, "Is that you guys?" And you guys are like, "What? Where?" Oh, yeah. I'm like, "Is that you guys?" and then I was like, "Game, I think that's them." And then like I turn around, and then I turn back around. I was like, "Wait, no, that's not them." And then we got shot in the
face.
It was like,
No, yeah,
geez,
yeah.
dude.
You and Baines were together. Me and Game were together, and
Yeah.
like, oh, is that them? And we ended up being like, oh no, it's us, it's teammates. But then there ended up being enemies where Artemis was looking, and we got wrecked. So.
Yep. Yeah. That was. But you know, those kind of moments, you kind of cherish those because it's just, you know, you kind of like, man, that you could never get that experience again if you played, you know, PUBG for, you know, a long time. You know, it just you wouldn't get that again. It'd be different every time. So that's a good thing about it. And Baines, dude, or Baines. What is your game of the year? Games of the year?
My game of the year is Xenoblade Chronicles 2. By a long shot, it's not even close.
Everything else is just like does not compare, huh?
Well, I mean, Zelda probably gets close, but yeah, man, that game was just it was huge. And I know y'all just talked about story. It didn't have to have a story, but y'all already know that I'm a big story dude. Like,
yeah.
I like to be immersed into the story and whatnot. And to me, for the year, this had the best, the biggest immersive story, and you learned everything about each character. So sometimes by the end of the game, you may be like, wow, I had such a good time. But there's certain parts that you're like, okay, so, you know, that part never got explored or that part never got explored. The game was so long. You're talking about like an 80-hour campaign, So the game was so long, it had enough time to explore each character. So whatever you found out about a character in the beginning of the game, that was fully wrapped up by the end of the game. And so it was just like a big, huge movie. The combat was real fun. I know in the beginning, like you played in the beginning first, I would say first 20 hours or so, combat may be kind of boring, but it's all because it's trying to show you how to work the combat correctly. Because when you get to the latter part of the game, if you haven't learned that, you're gonna get your ass wrecked. You know what I'm saying? So, but the combat, the story, all the characters, like, I mean, I was just fully immersed in that game, and for me, that's like, you know, that's in my top for this generation. You know.
Wow.
So that was definitely my game of the year. Second would be Zelda, because that just introduced something new into an open world. Like you hear it all the time, physics whenever they talk about Zelda. And it's because, I mean, that really came into play. You could be dropped into a certain section in Zelda and have nothing but use the environment to get by, regardless of the enemy types that are there. You know what I'm saying? And that's always something that's really cool. You don't find that in a lot of games. A lot of games, if you get dropped in certain areas, if you're not tooled up, it's going to get wrecked, period. That's it. Yeah. But now, I mean, with Zelda, that's completely different. So it added something new, I think, to the open world genre, or maybe not completely new, but something that was really fleshed out, you know, newly fleshed out, you know, mechanics to the open world genre. Then after that, it'll probably be Horizon Zero Dawn. Then you'll have Resident Evil 7, and then I guess to round out my top 5, it'd be like Rhyme. I'm thinking just off the top of my head, and that's the indie that I tell you guys I really love.
Wait, yeah. Rhyme? You said Rhyme?
Rhyme, right?
Okay, so Rhyme. I mean, what was so like? Because you said it's in your top 5. So, what was so like? You know, like what made that game like stand out more than the other games of this year?
Well, I mean, if you think about the landscape of what came out this year, and again, I'm the story guy, and this was a story without, you know, really being there was no acting, there's not even any text. You know, it told a story without telling a story. You know, in some respects, and it was an indie. And when I went into it, I was like, okay, this may be pretty cool. And by the end of it, I was like, wow, this was like one of the top things that I've played. And it was just I mean, it had some puzzle mechanics, and it just took you on a nice short adventure. And I'm not going to tell the story, but I mean, like I said, you got to just the story without there being any type of anything told to you. There's no voice acting, no text, anything.
So So it's just basically, it grabbed you with just
Right,
that.
right, and that's. I mean, your game of the if the game is in your top 5 of the year, it's going to be those that grab you, and that
Right.
one did it. So, yeah, that would be my top 5, man.
All right, man. Yeah, I can agree with all those except for Rhyme. No, no, I haven't played Rhyme yet. I have no idea. I heard really good things about it. I mean, I honestly I would want to play it on the Switch, but I heard it's not that good on the
Not be on
Switch.
the Switch, yeah.
I heard it's just a kind of a bad port for the Switch, but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, definitely. I mean that's definitely a game I'm gonna be maybe picking up on a sale when it goes on sale, since you kind of recommend it. Um, but my games of the year, my top game would be Destiny 2. No, I'm just
I'm about to
kidding.
say, man, get
No,
that mess out of here.
no, Destiny 2 is terrible. Honestly, the a lot of people are probably gonna say like, of course, this is your game of the year, but it has to be Assassin's Creed Origins. I've been a huge fan of that series since the beginning. Like TiVo, you've been a huge fan since the beginning too. It's just like, I don't know what it was this year. They pulled out all the stops, man. They did everything, correct. It was awesome. I know a lot of people had a lot of gripes about it and how it was different. They try to make it more like, the combat more like Dark Souls esque, I guess, like they said in some reviews. And I was like, man, these guys don't even know what they're talking about, because it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like that. It feels very Assassin's Creed esque. It definitely, I love the stealth in it. There's not, there are a lot of, different things about it. There's a lot of, side missions this time around. I mean, in the earlier previous games, there really weren't that like kind of side missions. They were kind of like they were okay, but they were just like basically fetch quests. And like in here, it's just so much different. There's a few fetch quests here and there, but there's more like in depth type of side quests, and I really enjoyed that. Especially
Were they
since
really that in depth though?
I mean, they weren't like Witcher 3 in depth, they weren't like that, but they were a little bit more in depth than, some other games that are out there that put in side quests.
Yeah, because I played a bunch of those side quests, and they basically had the same formula: go rescue this dude out of the whatever, and then
I don't know. Maybe I felt different. I don't know. I maybe it's just because I didn't play enough of the side quests to really like. I mean, I played a lot of them, but I mean, I didn't play like all of them like you did. I know
what level did you end at?
every area you played in. I think it was like 36 or something like that.
Okay, see, I ended at 40, so yeah, I played like a lot of side
Yeah, you
missions.
played a lot of side missions.
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah, I didn't.
side quests can be, difficult. Like, you obviously you want in a side quest, you want to create something interesting for the player to do, but at the same time, typically I don't think you want to distract too much from the main story at the same time, because I mean, you made the main story for a reason, and you want the player to progress through that. Like there have been games where I start hitting all the side quests, like Final Fantasy 15, and I didn't finish that game because I just played too many fucking side quests, And then I was like,
Exactly.
there's new
Not-
games out by this time. I'm gonna go hop into those now, Even
Yeah,
though
not
Final
to say
Fantasy
that
15 was a great game.
not to put, not to talk down on Assassin's Creed. So, I mean, because I played a bunch of them, obviously, because I liked it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying they really weren't that involved. They were still just, they kind of followed the same pattern, but I still liked it. That's why I did so many of them.
I was just coming to like the thought that everybody always talks about Witcher 3's side quests,
Yeah, it's nothing gonna hit that.
which I haven't played the game yet, but I mean, at some point, you don't necessarily you don't always want a game with like super in-depth side quests, because that's, even if it can be world building, sometimes that just takes away from what you're trying to play the game for.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. There was I didn't play enough. I think I played enough side quests to know that there were some that kind of were repeating, but there were times where I would come across a side quest and there would be like a cutscene for it, and that was cool. Those were a little bit more of the in-depth ones. Those were a little bit more. They had a little bit more of a story to them. And I like those a lot. I mean, I understand. Now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of do remember that there were some that I did, and I was like, didn't I already just do this one? But the game, it doesn't water down the game at all. It just, it really, it's a very optional type of thing. You don't have to do it. Honestly, you might want to, just because of the fact of what level the some of the missions, the main missions are at, especially towards the end. You might want to do quite a few side quests, so then you're kind of like on par with the levels and stuff. But I think this game was just, they came back, they took a year off, they came back, and it was just like it took, it took that year to really realize like how much I miss Assassin's Creed. Also took that year to basically say, Assassin's Creed, you need to continue to do this. You need to continue to take those years off, or take, even if they take 2 years off, that's fine too. As long as we get another one, like 2 years from now, it's just, it was one of those games that just, it'll stay with me for a while. Also, I'm gonna say Wolfenstein 2. That game, holy crap! That game was like insane, dude. That game was like beyond anything I've ever played in a first-person shooter. Like any other first-person shooter has kind of somewhat memorable moments, but this game had, throughout the whole game, is just a memorable moment. Like,
I have a question about that game too.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a particular part in that game, and I've listened to like people talk about this before, and they say that this part of the game completely takes them out of the immersion of the game. And I thought like it kind of fit the Wolfenstein crazy ass narrative to me, and I still liked it. Did you like that part? Like I liked it. It didn't take me out of the immersion. Yeah.
You know what? Nothing really took me out of the immersion of Wolfenstein, because Wolfenstein has always been kind of over the top. Even with Wolfenstein 3D, when that came out, that game was like you play mecha freaking Hitler at the end of the game. You fight him at the end of the game of Wolfenstein 3D. That they never really have taken themselves too serious. And that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people thought that it was maybe they were marketing it as like, a hit at, our president of this year, our president and stuff like that. And it's like, no, and they weren't trying to do anything like that. The game has to do with Nazis. Like, who doesn't like killing Nazis? Like,
yeah, I guess the right was that like they did have kind of a serious tone during the game. Like they tried to draw you into a serious type story vibe, during the game. But then they had this one part that just went like totally left field, like. But then if you think about, like you was just saying, the Wolfenstein, universe of games, I mean, hey, that fit to me, I mean, it was fine.
Well, even look at Old Blood. When that came out, that game was awesome, and then once you get to the end of that, I mean, spoiler alert, but once you get to the end of Wolfenstein Old Blood, like you're fighting against zombies, like like it's over the top, like it's like, what do you I don't know why people are expecting this game to be like some, non-blockbuster type of, just crazy antics and stuff like that. I never understood that. I mean, I know there was a lot of people who hated the game. I know there was a lot of critics who loved the game. It was just like, it was weird. It was a weird, this game came out at a time I think was just a little weird. I don't know.
Yeah, to put my 2 cents in, I agree with you guys. Like, and they always have crazy. I mean, look at some of the weapons you use. They're fucking laser,
Right.
crazy ass laser weapons. You know, you got like a laser shotgun that the scientist gives you. And like the traps that set has placed around the place. You know, like they're just fucking disintegrating Nazis. Like, you know, it's not like, and you have the character, like, I forget his name. It's like Slesh or Sesh or something like that. Kind of the paranoid, you know, conspiracy theory guy. Like, you know, he's doing crazy stuff. So a lot of the game is like, even though there's very serious tones, they still add in all this like crazy. Maybe it's more subtle, but like all this craziness. And then when that moment happens, you're kind of like, what the fuck are they gonna do now? And then, you know, they do what they do, and you're like, okay. And I had a little bit of a chuckle when it happened, but then I was like, okay, I'm back in ass kicking mode now, you know?
Yeah.
So it didn't really I felt it didn't necessarily take me out of the game, and there was kind of reason to do it as well, even though
right.
You know, he doesn't need her wings anymore, so to say. So there's reason to do it, even though it's, you know, kind of crazy and out of left field.
Let's get our special guest in here. Did you play Wolfenstein 2 at all, TiVo, or are you just still kind of waiting on the back burner for that one?
Yeah, I haven't played any of them, but I did pick them up on the Black Friday sale and the year-end sale, so I have the whole thing. So it sounds like I'm in for a hella ride.
Yeah, dude, you definitely are, man, and I recommend you play those. Absolutely, man. Those games are really good. And you know what? Honestly, you don't even have to start out with the Old Blood. I know it's a prequel, but you really don't. I mean, I played it like that though. I played it the prequel, and then I played New Order, and then I played Wolfenstein 2, and I was like, didn't really need to do that, but it was still, you know, it's still a fun game, even if you don't play them in order or anything like that.
So I can start with the second one, part 2, and it won't.
I would at least.
I don't know if
I would start with.
I would start with New Order at least.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I would start with New Order because you need to kind of know what's going on there.
Right.
But yeah, man, those games are good choices, man, that you got on the Black Friday sale. Another game that really blew me away this year was Resident Evil 7, man. That game.
Yes.
What can I say about that game, right, TiVo? I mean, dude, that game was what? Just it blew a lot of the horror games of the past out of the water. I mean, it was just, you know, there's no HUD. You know, you're searching for resources. You're trying to get, you know, health packs and stuff like that, and you're going through this, like, you know, this maze, and I felt like I was actually in a horror film the whole time. Like, I felt like I was actually there, you know, playing that game, and it was just, oh gosh, man, there's not probably going to be another horror game like that until they probably do something similar to it, or something, you know, along those lines, or even another Resident Evil. Because that game really outshined a lot of, I think, horror games that I played, like, ever. Except for maybe Dead Space. But, I mean, Dead Space was just, you know, that's just kind of a different game. But I think, you know, Resident Evil 7 just, you know, it takes the cake because I like the you know, it had this Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel to it. It had this, like, you know, those old, like, those you know, the old horror slasher movies, like you know, Halloween and Friday the 13th to it here and there, you know. And then there was just, like, you know, it was just, and then it kind of had this, like, Saw vibe to it, you know, with some of the parts. It was just, you know, it was just good, you know. It was definitely a horror game that if you haven't played it yet, you definitely have to pick it up and play, because it is pretty good.
Did you guys think the back half of that game took you out of the because everybody says it's so good up until the last, you know, the ship part, basically, is what I'll say.
It became more actiony.
Right, but see, I think that the build-up was for that.
Yeah.
I mean, your answers to what was going on in the house were there. So I don't understand why people would say, "Oh, it was so good up until the ship part." Like, I mean, you have all these questions in the house, then you finally get out the house. You're like, whew. You get to the ship, and you get more of your answers. You get what's really going on, what really happened. And so I enjoyed that. I thought it was all of a nice cohesive thing to me. What did you guys think?
Yeah, because the third part, even though it was with action, a lot of action, it never lost the sense of isolation that the game had as a whole. So like it was still, like you said, it was still all coherent and like just it made sense to me. It didn't throw me off at all.
Yeah, but you'll find a lot of people say, "Yeah, it was so good until the back half, until you get to the ship," which I never understood that. Like, it was good throughout. To me, it was just a really good game. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, it was just, I agree with you on that one too. Baines is just, I didn't feel like I was pulled out of the game at all. I didn't, it just felt like I just wanted more. As soon as it showed me that I was gonna get more, I was like, sweet, I'm gonna get more. It was one of those games that I think will stick with me for a long time. I think it'll be one of the games I'll be talking about for years, and I think we'll be talking about it for this generation. I think we'll it might be even the best horror game of the generation, to be honest.
Well, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where do you guys think they go from here with the series now?
That's the same formula.
They have to keep that same formula. Maybe not in terms of like, keeping it in in a house, kind of thing. They need to keep that same, atmosphere type. But it would be kind of cool to see maybe like Raccoon City or something like that, or like, maybe even just maybe you're playing as Chris Redfield, or Leon S. Kennedy, or Jill Valentine or something like that. Like, you just kind of, you're kind of or even in like a hospital or something, like a freaking hospital that's been run down or something, like.
Y'all think third person? Would you like to keep it in first person?
I want them to keep it first person, to be honest. I mean, I think that right there really set it apart from, I know a lot of people will say that it's like it's taking from Silent Hill, the PT demo, but I think they kind of went beyond that and did something a lot different from what Silent Hill probably would have done.
Like I said, I think I picked up the Revelation series, and I've finished Revelations 1, and I haven't touched Revelations 2 yet. But I still feel the same, even though it's third person. I still feel that same. They kept that same kind of vibe. That same kind of vibe is in Resident Evil 7. And I know those games are pretty far apart, and they had some good games in between that, and they had some mess in between it. But I felt like when I played Revelations, the first one, I mean, it kind of made me feel like I was playing Resident Evil 7, even though it was third person is what I'm trying to get at. Like, so third person, I think, could work if they keep that same type formula, Yeah.
Because
I think the formula is kind of the same in the Revelation series. Like I said, I haven't played 2, but I'm just thinking that one would follow over to 2, even though the story isn't connected.
Oh yeah, Revelations 2 is really good. Like, it was one of those top like horror games of that year. I think it was so, it felt like a Resident Evil game. It didn't feel like some knockoff.
Right. So. Yeah, I think third person could work if they wanted to do it. As long as they did it, somewhat like that, like the Revelation series. But you guys want to stick to first person?
Yeah, I think first person will just I like that feeling of you don't know what's gonna be behind you.
Yeah, that's true.
You just and that's when you get really scared, is when you don't know what's behind you don't know what's on the side of you just know what's right there in front of you. And and that's kind of that's the best workings of a horror game, I think.
Right.
But we're gonna move on from our games of the year because we kind of beat that one to death. But before we move on to our most anticipated games of 2018, I want to thank everybody who has been following me on Twitter. I hit 500 over the course of the holidays. It was an absolute surprise. It was absolute. It was an absolute blessing to see so many people who are following me. I much appreciate everybody who does follow me on Twitter. It was surreal. I was like, man, I never thought I would get to that. I honestly was like, I think, just thinking to myself, like, 500, would be like a milestone, and it really is. And it's so surreal. I can't believe it. I think, even if I keep going, like I'm still going to be like that same person. I'm going to be like, man, I hit 1,000 or whatever, or hit 10,000. I'm going to be like, that's crazy. Hopefully someday I will hit that. If not, that's cool too. But, I absolutely appreciate everybody who's following me on Twitter. As you guys know, I do like to do giveaways, and we like to do giveaways on this show. So we're gonna ask you guys, according to Metacritic, what is the highest rated RPG on Metacritic? And then you have to go to Metacritic and you have to find out
what kind of RPG.
What's the highest rated RPG on Metacritic? According to Metacritic, what is the highest rated RPG? And then DM me on Twitter.
I think I actually know that off the top of my head.
DM me on Twitter, and the first person who DMs me on Twitter with the right answer will get the game of their choice. Just to say thank you for the 500 follows on Twitter, and I wish I could do more. I wish I could give you guys more, but I definitely, we're going to try to do more giveaways throughout the year. So definitely tune into that. And then I'll also announce the winner of this giveaway at the end of the show. So you might want to stay tuned to that. But we're going to move on to our most anticipated games of 2018. And I'm going to go with IcedTivo because we haven't heard from him in a little bit. So what is your most anticipated game?
First I want to step in. Let me step in real quick. I want to give a shout out to UK, man. UK Dazarus, he put in the Facebook in the chat. He got our Twitters in the chat. UK holding it down.
Yeah,
UK.
UK Dazarus is like the moderator of the year, man. He's always killing it. You're always killing it, dude, and we appreciate you coming out here every single week and joining us. You're a true friend, man. We absolutely appreciate everything you do for this podcast. But most anticipated game for 2018, Tivo, what's your most anticipated, man?
For me, so far from what we've heard and what's been announced, it would be Red Dead Redemption 2, because last generation, that was my favorite game overall, the whole generation. So I'm really excited to play that, and I just hope, it's more of the same, but then also new stuff and make it better. Because sometimes, I don't know, sometimes when I hear about a sequel or you get like excited for a game, you kind of have that moment where you're like, I hope this doesn't suck. Or like they don't change it to the point where you're like, this is too much change. But you want enough where it could still stay like fresh, like an evolution in a way.
Yeah.
So,
I think the biggest thing with that game is like, hopefully, is like how much GTA 5 they bring into Red Dead Redemption in terms of like microtransactions and things. So I hope they have, this big multiplayer world and stuff, but I know it's what it comes with as well. So it's like, it's exciting, but a little bit of a bummer at the same time, I feel,
They used to pump out games consistently. And then all of a sudden after Resident Evil, GTA 5, it's like they just stopped.
Yeah, I know. They used to have at least one game a year, and then and now they usually multiple, and now how long has it been? 4 or 5
Well,
years, I think. Right?
I think the reason is because they GTA Online and that that really
Well, it's made so much money.
Yeah, it made so much. It's just they didn't really need to come out with another game. But I mean, I think that game right there, Red Dead Redemption 2, is just gonna be one of those like just damn dude, like we've been waiting for this for so long, and I know that Rockstar is gonna pull it off. Yeah. Any other games that you're excited about, man? Any other anticipated?
If we go by rumors, Resident Evil 2 remake, of course, and also I'm really hoping they release a Splinter Cell this year because every year I'm looking at E3, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be the year where you're gonna see the goggles and everyone's gonna go crazy, but no, it never happened. So hopefully this year.
Gonna happen last
Yeah,
Tuesday. So
that's what I need. That game needs to come out. So that's what I want.
Just those two right there, man, huh? Just those. All right.
Yeah, because the other ones are more, for example, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
It looks promising, but I haven't gotten enough to get a good grasp of how it's gonna be.
Right.
And then there's what else is coming out? Well, on the PlayStation side, there's God of War, but they're also changing that in a way. You have a Spider-Man, I don't know, those games are more like we've seen them, some of them, and it's not, I don't know, it doesn't excite me. It's one of those games that I would pick up, when it's out, but I can't say that I'm anticipating it in terms of I can't wait for it to come out as much as a Splinter Cell or Red Dead Redemption 2. So,
yeah, I mean, I can see where you come from on that. Yeah, those two seem gonna be good. Remix. What is your most anticipated games for 2018?
All right. I've got a little list of games here, but limit it to 5. So I think my most anticipated game is probably Metro Exodus, man. I haven't played any of the Metro games before, but I own the other 2. I bought them on a sale a while ago, so I'm gonna play through all 3 of them. And I've just heard good things about all the games. How graphically amazing they are. Most PCs can't handle them, and can't wait to get into that game. It looks beautiful, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I do post-apocalyptic worlds, so
right.
I think it's gonna be a good game. My number 2 spot, I'd probably have to put Red Dead Redemption 2 if it comes out this year. Just because the first one I fell in love with. I even played Red Dead Revolver's not anything like them, but that's honestly one of those first games that got me into gaming back on the original Xbox. So I'm really excited for Red Dead 2. My number 3 spot, we don't know much about it or its release or anything, but I've got to throw Anthem in there because I've just got to hold out hopes that it's going to kick ass like we all want it to. And it's going to be another one of those, what Destiny should have been games, and hopefully even better. I really like the mech suit flying around, and that world looked beautiful too. So we'll have to wait and see on that. In my number 4 spot, I think I've got to give it to Far Cry 5 because, I don't know, I haven't played any Far Cry games except for Far Cry 3, but that game was one of my top games of all time, and I know they can make a villain well, so I'm hoping that they really do some more on the story side throughout, and build yourself as a character more. And then, I mean, the number 5 spot could kind of go to a series of games, Sea of Thieves, but I'm skeptical about Spider-Man or God of War, or I'm also pretty excited for Detroit Become Human. I know a lot of people bag on that game, but I just want to see how they pull it all together because it seems like, there's all these different stories going on in this world, and it really, every little thing, every little decision you make really impacts, what's going to happen. I mean, somebody's going to die. You might kill somebody, on just a small decision you make. So I really want to see how that game comes together as well.
Nice. Yeah. Pretty good list of anticipated games.
Yeah.
But Why Far Cry 5?
Why Far Cry 5? Dude, it's
Yeah.
like, you know, that game could be like pretty good or it could suck ass. But like I said, you know, Far Cry 3 was so great in my opinion. So I've just gotta, you know, hold out some hope. Plus, I haven't played, you know, Far Cry 4 or Primal, so I haven't been let down at all by those games either. So I'm just like, you know, I haven't had Far Cry in a while, and I really like the Far Cry that I did have. So, you know, I'm excited for a new one.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. I think, you know, I was disappointed with Far Cry Primal, and I was disappointed with Far Cry 4 because it was so much like Far Cry 3, but it was still good. You know, it was still a good game. I still enjoyed it. But I think, you know, that Far Cry 5, I think it's going to bring something else to the table that we haven't seen yet.
It's also pretty cool that, you know, it's like coming to the U.S. and being in Montana and stuff. And,
yeah,
I think
that's
I've
a
said this
different
on
type of setting for it. Usually
Yeah.
they're on like an island or something like that, something crazy, but now it's not like that. So
yeah, and I think
Definitely.
I've said this on a podcast like a while ago, but you know, it's kind of cool because like I live really close to Montana. I've been to Montana, and you know, kind of having a setting in which you've you know, you've been in and kind of lived in is pretty cool as well. So
nice. Anything else that you're anticipated for, or is it just those games right there?
actually, now that I think about it, yeah, you know, some of the like Days Gone or State of Decay 2, I'm gonna definitely look into those some zombie games. I really like how in Days
You like
Gone,
those survival games?
yeah, I do. That's kind of more on the State of Decay side, but then with Days Gone, you know, I really like. Looks like they're gonna put a lot of like interacting with the environment to make the zombies, you know, attack the enemies that you're trying to attack. You know, you can use them as kind of an environmental effect to take out other groups of people and stuff. So, yeah,
Nice.
that pretty much rounds it up for me.
Nice, yeah. Banes, what's your most anticipated, dude?
If I think about it right now, it'll probably be God of War. After that, Spider-Man. I would say Anthem and Red Dead, but I'm kind of holding off on that because I know those two, you know, that's
so
Take
far
Two
off.
and Anthem. I think.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, they may be just rife with microtransactions. That could be like a big possibility.
Yeah.
Now I'm hoping that they decide to do Red Dead Redemption 2 like they've done GTA. They gave you a pretty sizable campaign, and then they gave you the online, and the online's where all the mess is. So I'm hoping they do the same thing at Red Dead. You know, they give you a pretty sizable campaign that you enjoy, that you feel fulfilled off of, and you know they keep that mess in the online. So, but I'm a little bit reserved on those two because of that. And I was just, you know, I've even read some of the earnings call, transcripts, and you know they've talked about the fact that they don't put out a lot of games because they're monetizing. Their goal is to monetize the games that they have out, you know, and that's their goal going forward. So it's already going to be. It's already telling you that they're going to put a lot of stuff in the game. Just hoping they keep it to the online portion. We'll see. We all know how EA is, but we'll see how those go. But yeah, it have to be God of War, Spider-Man. I'm really interested in State of Decay 2. See how that works because I heard a lot of good things about the first one, but I didn't play it. So I'm looking forward to to this one. And what you laughing at?
Sorry. Your mic is just like it sounds
below?
like it sounds like you're in a refrigerator or something like that.
Oh, my bad. Well, y'all gonna have to deal with this cold right now. All right. That's about it, man. I'm trying to think of it. Everything else that
No Metro
we
for you,
know.
Baines?
Well, yeah, I am looking forward to Metro, but I mean, if you're talking about my most anticipated, it would have to be like either God of War or Spider Man right now.
Yeah.
And especially because I'm while we don't know about God of War, it's looking kind of spooky because they're actually looking to add some more people to their team.
Mm-hmm.
There was just some type of article or something that I ran across about that, so we really don't know about that. But I know Spider Man is going to be early part of this year, so
Right.
those are kind of right in our face. And I think Metro is coming out toward the back half of the year. So
Yeah.
back half
But,
of the year, Metro will probably be up there for me.
but why? But why Spider-Man? I mean, we haven't really seen too much about it. It's kind of.
So you've seen a lot about Spider Man.
I mean,
Seen
yeah.
Spider-Man too.
I mean, we have, but it's not like it hasn't it hasn't got me yet. I haven't seen anything yet, and I'm like, okay, I want to play this.
I'm a big Spider-Man fan anyway, so it got me the first time I saw it. So,
well, that makes sense. I mean, you're a huge Spider-Man fan. That makes sense to want to play that, definitely.
So I mean, but that's about it. That's my list. Man.
All right, man. Cool. Oh yeah. Sound like somebody wanted to say something there.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's
go ahead.
It's kind of hard. Like this question is a little more difficult than any other year because I feel like we have a lot of games, but they haven't shown enough of like what we as gamers want to see. Like the gameplay, the mechanic is more like cinematic trailers we've been getting. So sometimes it's kind of hard to put your finger on like, okay, yeah, that's the game I really want to play. Like, of course, as gamers, we're like engaged and intrigued, but like it's just hard to like pinpoint, yeah, that's the one. Like I can't wait. I'm pre-ordering it right now. Like it's just, I don't know. For me, I find it a little difficult more than other years.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I feel like a lot of games we know about are kind of, we don't either know that much about or they're coming on the back half. So, there's still announcements to come for them. That's also, I would say, another reason why Far Cry 5 is on my list because I know what that game is, and that game's coming soon. So that's like one of the first games of the year that I'm going to pick up. And, I know what's about and I know what I'm getting myself into,
Yeah, right. I can see that. But I have to agree with you. I really wholeheartedly have to agree with you on that one, TiVo, because like you said, they haven't shown us any gameplay. Most of the games that we've seen just basically cinematics, and it's really hard to say what will be our most anticipated. But I mean, if it's something that is going to be good, like Red Dead Redemption 2, you kind of know that that's probably going to be good because of the fact that it's Rockstar who's doing it. They really rarely ever make a terrible game. I think the last game that they made that was terrible was State of Emergency or something like that. That was like way back in the day, and it was just like it wasn't a terrible game, but it was just filled with like controversy and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it's really hard. This question, you're right, it is a hard question to say, but for me, I would have to say, my most anticipated, and I'm going to kind of cheat here a little bit. I'm going to say Bayonetta 2, because I didn't get it on the Wii U because I didn't have a Wii U. And I'm looking forward to this, and I know it's going to be good because of the fact that it was a Nintendo game to begin with, and I know it's going to the Switch, so I know it's probably going to be a good port of it because they tend to like really take care of those kind of things when it comes to like porting their games over to the other consoles, because they did that with Wind Waker and they did that with Twilight Princess on the Wii U. And I'm excited because of the fact that you get Bayonetta 1 and 2 with it. So it's like a bonus. I'm pretty sure it's not all on one cartridge. I'm pretty sure Bayonetta 2 is on the one cartridge, and then you probably get like a digital code for Bayonetta 1. But yeah, I think
Bayonetta 3?
Well, we don't know if that's coming out this year. That's the thing. They just announced it. They didn't give any details. They didn't show us a trailer. I can't really say that that's my most anticipated. I think honestly it won't come out this year, for the simple fact that Bayonetta 1 and 2 are coming this year. So I think they'll kind of give it maybe another year, and then they'll come out with Bayonetta 3. Another one of mine that I'm really excited for, and um, I'm probably maybe in the minority here. I would have to say Monster Hunter World. I'm actually pretty ecstatic for that because I think that game is going to be awesome. Honestly, I think that game is gonna, because I've been watching gameplay of it, and I've been kind of almost, I've always kind of been kind of a fan of the Monster Hunter series, um, you know, and to see it come to like other consoles is awesome. Just to see something like that come to other consoles, and then of course they're working around the mechanics of the game. They're kind of changing things here and there that would actually work better on these consoles than it would probably on Nintendo, like the graphics wise and stuff like that. Even gameplay, I think even some of the stuff that they're tweaking is a little different from other Monster Hunters. It just looks like a good game, man. I'm excited, and it comes out the end of the month at the end of this month, so that's one game I'm like, okay, I got to pick that up. Which kind of sucks because Bayonetta 2 I think comes out like a couple weeks after that, so it's gonna be hard to kind of like pinpoint when I'm gonna get Bayonetta 1 and 2. Maybe I'll get Bayonetta 1 and 2 first, and then maybe get Monster Hunter World afterwards after I finish both of those. Just depends. And then
I can see myself picking that up in a. Yeah, when when there's nothing else coming out and I don't have
like when it's on sale or something like that. Yeah, maybe.
Because I mean the game looks interesting and not necessarily interesting but fun to me. Like not my most anticipated, but something worth the look. And I feel like it people say oh, it looks so repetitive, and even I've said that before. But at the same time, then I think to myself, well, I play other games like, let's say Ark Survival Evolved, and all I do is, tame dinosaurs and build shit. So, as long as what I'm doing is enjoyable, then
it seems like this one has more of a story, though. They've kind of put more of a story to this one. Yeah. Good, because if it's going to be a multi-plat, you kind of you can't really pull off the Nintendo way of just like having it be just this fun thing, like you just play because it's just specific to your console. It's got to be more cater to everyone, not just the core audience of Nintendo. But yeah, I'm excited for that, and then I'm also excited. I'm really anticipating State of Decay 2. Simply because of the fact that it's a survival game, and it looks like it's going to be something up my alley in terms of like just going around being a lone wolf and kind of like taking zombies out with a sniper rifle or whatever. And I think that'll be a lot of fun, and having to survive and having to find resources and build a camp and do all that kind of stuff. I mean, I know I don't really like building stuff, but that's only like when it comes to like Fortnite or something like that, when it's just like I just didn't like their mechanics of how they did it. But I think this one, I think they'll do it right, because I mean I like building in Fallout, because I think Fallout 4 has that kind of like
I never built in Fallout.
house. They kind of did that one kind of right. It was kind of cool how they did that. So I'm kind of interested to see what they do with State of Decay 2, and it looks like it's going to be a bigger budget this time around. It's going to be a bigger world. It looks like once you die, it looks like you might take over somebody who's in your camp. Looks like it doesn't look like you're gonna like start over from the beginning. It looks like you're just gonna take over somebody who's in your camp. It's kind of funny because what if everybody dies in your camp and you're the last one left? It's gonna be kind of interesting to see what they do with that.
I'm also excited for co-op in that game.
Oh yeah, the co-op I think is gonna be gonna be spot on. I think. Is it 4-player? Or is it
Yeah.
2? Okay, so 4-player. So I mean, group of buddies just going in there and wrecking house. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I also have to say I'm gonna have to agree with the remix on this one and Far Cry 5. Simply because that game looks fun as shit, dude. It just looks, it just looks like something that I can pick up and play. I don't like the fact that they have it where it's, your buddy can't save his stuff it's weird if you're doing it co-op. It's like kind of like this weird thing of how they did it with the co-op. But I think
I haven't
them
actually
bringing
looked too
that.
much into the co-op in that game.
Well, they're bringing it into the game. I think they're bringing it back from one of their games that they had it in, and it seems like it's going to be a lot of fun just to kind of take a buddy in and play it. But I think it's set, and plus I like it because it seems like it's going to be very controversial as well, and I like controversy, and in in certain circumstances that kind of thing always gravitates to me because I'm like I want to see for myself. It makes me more intrigued when it has controversy around it. Especially since it was like same thing with Wolfenstein too. It just it felt that same aspect. Um, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much it up for my list of most anticipated games. It was a we had a really good year this year. I want to appreciate I want to say thank you to everyone who has been watching us since the beginning. Um, and everyone who's out there that's been on the podcast before. You guys are all all welcome to come back and stuff like that. um Definitely happy to have TiVo on tonight, man. That was awesome that you came out here and was like, hey dude, yeah, let's do this, and I was like, sweet.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. We're gonna continue to keep this podcast going. We absolutely appreciate everybody who comes out. Everybody, you guys are all friends to us. You're not fans, you're friends. We just, we appreciate every single one of you. Because without you guys, we wouldn't have a podcast. We probably wouldn't even do this every week. We'd probably say, you know what, forget this. We're not gonna do it anymore. But you guys make us want to come out here and do it. Um, but we're gonna end the show with our outros and stuff. But before we do that, I want to announce the winner of the game giveaway. It was Noof Nukem, dude. You won.
Hey.
Noof, hit me up on Twitter, dude, and we'll discuss what game you would like. Um, it was an awesome to see that people would follow me on Twitter with 500. That's crazy to me.
So what was the answer?
Well, yeah, what was the answer?
Oh, the answer was he said Skyrim. I was gonna take two. Well, there's two of them. It's tied. It's Skyrim and Mass Effect 2, but he came back to me with Skyrim first, so he was the first one to say Skyrim because they both were at the same number. They had 96 on Metacritic, both of them. So it doesn't, you can't really say, oh well, Mass Effect, because it was both of them were with the same number. So yeah, Skyrim. He said Skyrim. So
Very nice.
yeah, definitely. So we're gonna get out of here, but Sir TiVo, where can they find you, man?
Right now, you can just find me on Xbox Live. Not doing anything big yet, but I have plans. We'll see where it takes me.
There you go, man. Yeah, definitely. I want to see you do more this year, dude. I want to see more from you, man. I think you came on this podcast when we started out, and you did a really good job, dude. I want to see you do some stuff in the YouTube realm because I think you have a good standing on video games and everything like that. So I want to see more from you.
Thank you. That first time I was really nervous. It's amazing how like one show to another, like once you get that first one out the way, it's like
that first episode, man. I mean, I still get nervous from time to time here and there, but
really,
oh yeah, dude. Like I don't know why. I don't know why I do that, but it just happens. You know, it's just one of those things. But yeah, definitely. Baines, where can they find you, man?
MBaines99, PlayStation, Xbox, and Twitter, same all the way through. And you can find me in this damn refrigerator here on Quest Podcast on Thursday night at 9 p.m.
Yeah, man. We want to see the refrigerator every week from now on. Okay, just keep bringing it. Remix, where can we find you, dude?
Hey, hit me up, on Twitter, on Xbox, on PlayStation, whatever it may be. Remix Essence. Down the game anytime. I'm definitely gonna, try to create some more time while at school to game more often, since that kind of fell to the side. But yeah, it's a new year, so happy new year to everybody, and can't wait to see what we get up on into. So yeah, thank you all for coming out and watching, and we'll see you next time.
Definitely. And I was your host for the evening, Dark Onimus. You guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Onimus. You can also find me on Xbox Live at the same name. You can also find me on the next podcast every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. TiVo, it was a pleasure having you on here tonight, man. It was an absolute blast, dude. We had good conversations tonight. It was so much fun. Want to continue to keep this year, keep it going, keep it hype as much as we can. We appreciate everybody who comes out and watches us every week. Also, you guys can check out our Facebook page. I know Daz has been putting it in the chat, but you can also find it in the description below. Go ahead and go over there and check that out, and hit the follow button and like the page, because we absolutely do appreciate that. It's just, we're just trying to get our name out there. We're just trying to get some more subscribers and some more people to watch the podcast. It's just it's something that we want to continue to build this podcast up. So we will definitely appreciate it if you guys do that. But yeah, have a good evening, everyone. It was a blast.
Real quick, I want to shout out to Yukon.
Yes,
he's not feeling well, so he wasn't here. So definitely want to shout out our brother Yukon. I want to say appreciate IcedTivo for being on here. And also I want to say make sure y'all tune in next week. We got Old Man Ren's back. I saw him in the chat.
Yes.
It's also gonna be his year anniversary from streaming. And I know every time he's on Twitter, he's like hashtag small streamers. So hashtag small streamers, y'all stand up. Come through.
Definitely.
Listen to Old Man Ren's next week. And that's it.
And if you guys haven't yet, go follow IcedTivo on Twitter, man. He's got he's got good points, and then also go follow Old Man Ren's, man. He's got a lot of good stuff on there too, and also follow Yukon, because I know he needs it. He needs it the most out of everybody. Yeah. So have a good night, everyone, and have a happy New Year. Good night.
Good night.
Peace out, everybody.